Today I look at two Tesla Model 3s compared, a 2018 long-range all-wheel drive on the left and a 2020 standard range plus on the right. The one on the left has full self-driving option. The one on the right does not. Both have autopilot. That's now standard with the new cars on the right. So I'm going to do a deep dive, and I'm going to actually show you my cheat sheet here. We're going to go through the entire car and show you 25 differences between these model years. So let's get started. Both vehicles are charging right now. Both vehicles have been restored to their as-new state. Kind of. It's winter here in New England. And filming this, well, 25,000 miles on the right and only 600 miles on the car on the left that's 3 weeks old. So there's differences, and they're not exactly detailed. It's the middle of winter. But I did put the original car mats and all to go over the features. Another thing to point out is this is going to be a bit of a mix between different model years and different trim levels. But it's going to cover both, the 25 differences. So let's get started with front to back. So we're going to start with the fog lights up front. This is actually my first time shining an LED into the front fog light cavity here. You can clearly see a lens there and nothingness, and then a yellow reflector on this side. Okay, now we're moving to the 2020, and we still have the lens in there. So kind of hard to tell. We actually have an LED bulb in there, but there's definitely a lens and the reflector. So they don't look any different, but yeah, there's no control for fog lights on the 2020. Back to 2018, the Frunk. There is a Frunk mat included with my vehicle here. So this is what it looks like. The back has kind of a non-slip surface there, but it's really just resting on this hard metal and the tow hook. And in 2020, we get no carpet. Back to 2018, we've got grocery hooks. You push in, pop them up, and you can hook your groceries on there. You'll want to see my article all about these differences. 2020, no grocery hooks. But they can be put on at a Tesla service center, I believe, for a nominal price. Okay, in the 2018, we're onto the right front, and we have a speaker grill. So my car, it's interesting because it was made in November of 2018, and it has a speaker grill. Actually, didn't know that until this moment. I assumed it didn't because I'd read on forums that it wouldn't have it this early. So I don't think there's wiring there, though, for an emitter if I wanted noise. Now we're heading under the 2020, which is much cleaner. And of course, it has a speaker grill for the noise emitter. Right there. Let's see if we shine the LED in there. Can we see any speaker itself? Not really sure. 2018, we have HomeLink. Built in from the factory, ready to use. 2020, no HomeLink, no icon. Available as an option that you can have installed at a Tesla service center after taking delivery. 2018, long-range all-wheel drive, charging speed, 40 amps. You can go up to 48 amps actually in a home. It depends on what kind of charger you have installed and how your electrician did things. But that is the difference, the charging speed. And again, up to 47 in the long-range all-wheel drive. That's still true to the 2020 models for long-range all-wheel drive. Here in the 2020, charging rate 32. That's as high as it'll go no matter what kind of home-based AC charger we hook up to. So that's just the way the car is. That's the limit for home charging speed. And you can see 32 amps down here, grayed out to go beyond that. The range, by the way, was 310, or actually 322 now, for the long range, and 250 for this vehicle. They're both charged to 90% right now. The 2018 on the left, by the way, is 116 miles per gallon equivalent, and the one on the right, the Standard Range Plus, is 133 miles per gallon equivalent. All right, now let's get into the roof color when wet. On the 2018, in the rain or mist, you would see orange from here, the end of the windshield to the roof, to this seam. And then from the seam back, to here, it's just black, tinted, and then here there's minimal tinting to see out the rear window. Originally, I think 2017 models particularly, or early 2018, they would have orange all the way to here until it graduated to almost no tint for the rear window. So yeah, there's three kinds, three types of roof. There you go. You can see the orange color, and you can see it ends a little short of what I said. Having a look at the 2020 with similar lighting, we can spray the roof, and there's no orange tinge at all. This is the front left fender on the 2018, and where it meets the A-pillar, it's not supposed to actually touch, and I've got about a millimeter gap. Some people say that their paint can wear off a bit in that spot if it's actually touching when the vehicle's under motion with vibration. And that could be a problem. Chafing, you don't want bare metal untreated. It could be a corrosion issue. And the front left fender on the 2020, and you can see the gap is a little bit wider there. On the 2018, when I first got the car in December of 2018, there was no autopilot, no traffic aware cruise control. You just set the speed, and that's the speed you got, so it wouldn't adjust its speed accordingly. And you certainly had no lane keeping. So the feature called Autopilot was not built into the base model. Can't really show you that well statically, but I have plenty of videos covering that. Here in the 2020, the nice thing is they added Autopilot standard, even in this second from the bottom level. So there's standard range and standard range plus. I'm in the standard range plus right now. Really nice that all trim levels get the traffic aware cruise control and lane keeping. So Autopilot is baked in. What you don't get is lane changing or around town driving, city driving, when that becomes available. Okay. And I'll also just point out that it's hardware 3 behind the dashboard here, over here, behind the glove box on this 2020. I have hardware 2.5 on my car from 2018, but that'll be swapped out because I've already actually paid for the full self-driving on that other car. This car will not get full self-driving. It's for around town. The other one's the long road trip car and the bad weather car. This is the 2018. In the upper left corner, you can see 11/18. That means it was manufactured in November of 2018. And you can see the weight varies. It's more than 400 pounds heavier than the shorter range car. Also, 42 PSI is something I noticed today. Differs between the two cars. Let's go up here and look at the tire sticker. 42 PSI. So same size tires, but different pressure recommendation now. And it was delivered to me at 47 PSI, by the way, when I took it home. So here we are in the 2020. Upper left corner says December of 2019 is when it was made. So that's a change. November 1st, they cut over to calling it a 2020 model year. The year before, my car made in December was still called a 2018. Only cars coming out of the factory in January of 2019 did they call a 2019 model. So they changed the cutoff. All right, also look at the tire pressure, 45 on this newer car with a VIN number that starts in the 612 thousandths. And up here also says 45 PSI. Make sure you check out my article with all these details listed. This one I don't think we can see visually, but this is a leather steering wheel. You can look at the stitching up close, see if there's any evidence of a change. In 2018, it was leather. And in 2020, they cut over to vegan leather at some point earlier this year, I believe it was. That's a synthetic, so it's some sort of high quality vinyl. There's a slight scent that my wife noticed. I didn't really notice, kind of part of the new car smell. But yeah, the steering wheel is a little different. You really don't see it visually at all. Or by feel, I didn't even notice a difference. On the 2018, we have the Ambient Lights function. So as we head under here, in the footwell, you can see a little bit of ambient light coming out from here, and a dead pedal, a cover. That's just a big piece of plastic over the carpet. On the 2020, in the standard range plus trim level, there is no ambient light option. Let's have a look here under the footwell. No ambient light. Well, it's there physically, but you can't turn it on. You'll also notice no dead pedal. It's just carpet. Now in my case, I have winter mats that cover all of this, so it doesn't really matter to us. You can't tell a difference in either car when you're driving around. 2018, we have a door pocket light. It's an LED shining down on, say, an umbrella or whatever you store in the door pocket. 2020, standard range plus. No door pocket light. The LED is actually missing. All that's there is a bit of a hole where it would be, but there's also no wiring harness. So in this trim level, you don't get the ambient light function for your door pockets. In the 2018 with the premium trim level, this is the left rear passenger door with a door pocket illumination LED right there. And a kind of rubbery surface at the bottom of the pocket. Now in the left rear door of the 2020, the partial premium interior, and it has a smooth bottom of the pocket, no LED illumination. In fact, it's actually just a hole there. There's no wire harness or LED present. Window sticker. In my case, I believe it was never stuck in anything and it had no sticky goo in the back, but I did get a large window sticker that had the purchase price and all of that. I believe it was resting on the rear seat when I took delivery of this 2018. 2020, no window sticker to be found anywhere in the vehicle when I took delivery. It also did not come to me electronically. So I don't know if that was just an oversight for my Mount Kisco, New York location or a change they've made. 2018, along with the front license plate bracket, in the charging kit, you had the regular outlet adapter, and then you had the NEMA 1450 adapter included, along with this adapter and the mobile connector itself. And in the 2020, the NEMA 1450 faster charging adapter that I use in my home is no longer included with the vehicle, but it's available in the Tesla online store for purchase for $35. In the 2018, you had this charging mat and then a Lightning and a USB adapter for phone charging. This is an aftermarket piano finish glossy covering that is carbon fiber. But the cables came with the 2018 for your phone charging. And no cables came with the 2020 model. Not a big deal. I use the Qi wireless charging mat anyway. In the 2020 long-range all-wheel drive, we've got 5 seat heaters. And around back, of course, there's heating elements in the rear seats. In the 2020 Standard Range Plus, the rear seat heaters are missing from the controls. You only have the seat heater controls down here for the 2 front seats. But I'll point out that the back seats, the heating elements are present. I verified by slightly moving the seat bottom here, and I could see that the wiring harnesses were there, which indicates the heating elements are there. And I also noticed that the 2020 no longer has metal clips in the back where the seat bottom is guided into a position at the rear. Enabling the seat heaters in the rear of the Standard Range and Standard Range Plus will be an option in the future, Tesla has indicated publicly. Now we moved on to the trunk, item number 21. This is a very minor thing, but you'll see a bit of trim there. That plastic trim around the latch for the 1/3, 2/3 seat split is that size. And now we're in the trunk of the 2020, and that latch plastic trim is obviously larger. In the back of my 2020, there were a couple of large white stickers here and here, kind of diagonally. I think that was just an oversight, and I easily peeled them off without any damage. But now we're looking at the 2018 trunk, and I'm going to aim the camera up to show you this large opening where you can see the ceiling of my garage. It's got a little bit of foam here around the edge, metal grating above it, and you can kind of look around at the trim. The trim is actually a little different, the carpet there, from the newer model. You're now looking at 2020. Carpet trim a little different, and no hole there. Solid. For glare reasons, I've turned off the trunk LED at the back left of the car. This is the charger port emergency release on the 2018, and this is what it looks like. Now the 2020, the charger port emergency release is now a round hoop. In the 2018, let's go below the charger port, the back side, and into the pocket in the back of the trunk, and you'll see it's fully carpeted. And now in the 2020, same area, there's a mix of plastic and carpeting, so it's partial. The back right of the car on the 2018, all-wheel drive, long range, there's a subwoofer back here. I'm not going to pull the car apart to show you, but it's in there. And putting your hand over it, or you can feel it. On the 2020 Standard Range Plus trim level, there is no subwoofer hidden back here in the right rear of the trunk. And there's also some tweeters missing. My article details all of that. Let's have a look at the underside of the rear bumper on the 2018 Tesla Model 3. And you'll see just plain plastic all across. Now for a look underneath the 2020 Tesla Model 3, where you'll see a cutout in the plastic, potentially for a trailer hitch. Thanks to a YouTube commenter for bringing this to my attention. That's it. My 25 differences between the 2018 on the left and the 2020 on the right. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Don't forget to check out tinkertry.com/Tesla for a large collection of articles related to driving electric vehicles for over a year now and over 25,000 miles. Thank you for watching.